What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the NRW Checkpoint. I'm your host, WebsterStyle, the man, the voice, the fragrance. As always, I'm with my man, Brian Sapph. Brian, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
All right, man. I can't complain. Let's get into some new releases this week. First up, we have A Plague Tale Requiem. This is a sequel to A Plague Tale, and this is out for current gen systems, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, Switch of all things, as well as PC, and is dropping on Game Pass. Now, this is an adventure game. In this game, it's an action stealth adventure game. And with this, it is a sequel to A Plague Tale Innocence. And it follows two siblings, Amicia and Hugo de Rune, who must look for a cure to Hugo's blood disease in southern France while fleeing from soldiers of the Inquisition and hordes of rats that are spreading the Black Plague. Now, Brian, did you ever get a chance to play the original Plague Tale Innocence?
No, this is all sounding extremely new to me, but the story sounds interesting.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I'm familiar because the original one was on Game Pass and the sequel is dropping on Game Pass as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to check it out, but it is something that I've always heard very high marks of.
Okay. I mean, it sounds interesting. I'm listening to the story. I'm like, okay, rats and plagues and old stuff. Like, it sounds like an interesting story.
No problem. And then next up, we have Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed. Now, we did a reaction to this trailer a while ago. This is one of those 4-on-4 or 4-on-1 sort of games like Dead by Daylight and so on and so forth. Action game is on pretty much every platform: PS4, 5, Xbox One, S, X, Switch, and PC. Action game, of course, based on Ghostbusters and developed by Ilphonic. It is set to be released. I've said it already. One of the good things about it actually features the voice of Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson as Race Stantz and Winston Zeddemore, respectively. In this case, you are, four people playing playing Ghostbusters, and one person is playing the ghost. So that 4-on-1 sort of atmosphere. And we've seen it in games like Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, so you get the gist of anything with a Ghostbusters feel. So it's, if you like that sort of gameplay, and we saw some of that with the Dragon Ball game last week as well, with that sort of 4-on-1 or 7-on-1 or whatever it is in that regard.
Breakers.
Yes.
That's what it's called. Yeah. I'm glad they're doing more games like this, though. I like co-op games. This is great fun.
Yes, it is. So next up after that is a game that apparently came out on PC. It was like in an open beta since 2018, finally released in 2020 on PC. And now it's coming to consoles. Now it's PS4, 5, Xbox One, S, X, Switch, and PC, and it's Them's Fighting Herds. And this is an indie fighting game developed by Main 6 and published by Maximum Games. It's atypical of most side-scrolling fighting games. It features a cast of all-female undulate characters fighting each other to find a champion worthy of gaining the magical key that will protect the world from predators. And we are watching the trailer for that. So that should be interesting.
Yeah. Fighting games are always fighting games, but this story, I'm interested to see the trailer.
Me too. I haven't watched it, so I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah, what is an undulate? Maybe I'm uncultured. What is an undulate?
I think it was cows, if I remember correctly. Talk about herds, so some sort of farm animal. No, cows are bovine, so I don't know. We shall soon find out.
Okay.
Yeah. Next up, we have Batora Lost Haven. This is for the PS4, 5, Xbox One, S, X, Switch, and PC, an adventure game. So in this game, it revolves around a cataclysm that ruined mostly the Earth and robbed 16-year-old Arvo of everything. However, the heroine has gained access to powerful powers, sounds kind of redundant, which may help her save the dying planet. She embarks on a dangerous journey and learns a fine line between good and evil. So that sounds interesting. Are we watching? No, we're not watching a trailer for that one today. Next
like
up, say that.
no, I'm saying it sounds like Mario Sunshine. That's the first thing
Sounds
that
like
came to
that.
mind as you read the title. Like, oh, she's trying to cleanse the world of impurities and things. But that's just me.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds similar when you put it that way. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we have probably one of the biggest releases this week, and that is the Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, and obviously it's on the Switch. The sequel to the original Mario Rabbids game, and it's interesting because this is an action adventure turn-based strategy game. Again, Mario and action strategy you wouldn't think, but apparently this game did gangbusters the first time, which prompted them to make a sequel. And this is coming from Ubisoft Milan and Ubisoft Paris, and is published by, of course, Ubisoft for the Nintendo Switch. Did you ever play the original one?
No, and I don't know, for whatever reason, when I saw, because I'm not like super versed on Rabbids. Like, I know they're like one of the popular characters in the Nintendo stable, but I just never, I don't know. Maybe I'll give this a try though. It's Ubisoft and a strategy, and it sounds like a different spin on Mario, so I'm interested. Are we watching the trailer for that?
We are not. They opted not to do that one because it's Mario and Rabbids.
I'll check that out. Right. Yeah. I'll check that out.
All right. Next up, we have Second Extinction. This is on the Xbox One SX PC, and is actually on Game Pass. And it's weird because this is the actual release of the game, but it's been in a game preview for like the last year on Game Pass. So a lot of people gotten a chance to really play it. So this is an intense 3-player cooperative shooter where your goal is to wipe out the mutated dinosaurs that have taken over a planet. There are a lot of dinosaur games lately.
I mean, they're making a resurgence, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So teamwork is vital as you adopt the role of one of the survivors, using a unique combination of weapons, abilities, and skills to take on the vast number of enemies.
Okay.
So we got that. We got that art game coming out. That's been in the news a lot too.
Yeah.
The sequel to that. We got the Capcom game with the mech suits and the dinosaurs coming out as well.
Still waiting for that. That's probably my favorite of the dinosaur roundup so far.
Yeah, that's a 2023 game, so it definitely got a little ways off. Maybe, I'm not sure if it's spring, but it's definitely 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was coming out, Second Extinction. At the time of this recording, it's probably out right now for you to download and play if you have Game Pass, or to purchase if you have, again, PC or an Xbox One SX and you don't subscribe to Game Pass.
You should.
Next up is
all of those.
Exactly. Next up is a series of games that I'm pretty sure everyone here is going to be familiar with, and that is the Jack Party Pack 9. And this is on everything, including mobile. It's a party game. If you don't know what the Jack Party games are, I feel for you. Those are a pretty fun collection. And one of the best things I like about those games is that everything is interconnected. So you can have one person or some people playing on the console, some people playing on mobile. Mm-hmm. That is something I really enjoy about that. And I've done it a couple times just with family and friends playing those games. So the fact that a new series is out or new party pack is out is definitely good news. Those are fun. I'm not a big fan of party games, but the Jackbox Party series is definitely fun.
Yeah, I agree. I've played that many a times. Like some of the Twitch streamers that I watch, they'll have like streaming nights where they just play Jackbox with the viewers and stuff. It's a really, really fun game, especially if you get into more of the adult party packs that they have for the game. Like it's a good time. I enjoy it. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. I'm definitely excited for that one. That'll be really fun. They all are fun, so
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have Vampire Survivors, and this is dropping on PC and also on PC Game Pass. It's an action game. So this is a survival roguelike game. It takes place in a rural area of Italy in 2021, where Visconte Draculo used evil magic to ruin the region with famine. You play as Belpese family as the Belpese family and allies who now rise to defeat Draculo and return good food to the table.
Okay. We turn good food to the table.
So we're not
like
watching
that.
a trailer for that, but that definitely sounds interesting. But again, another roguelike. So that's a genre or style of game that is very popular nowadays. So we'll see what it's like.
Sounds fun.
All right. Next up, I swear it's like 3 or 4 big releases this week. Maybe really 3. The one after this one may be a kind of mid-sized tier release, but the other big release this week is Gotham Knights on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series systems, and PC. An action game. Now, this is obviously a DC Comics based video game where you're in a world where Batman, Bruce Wayne, is murdered and his adoptive son forges an alliance with the children of Gotham's army. So basically, Gotham's enemies.
Yes.
As the city becomes more dangerous, these mismatched fugitives will become his next generation of saviors known as the Gotham Knights. Okay, now that's a weird description because I thought in the game you play as Red Hood, Robin, Batgirl, and I'm missing someone else.
Nightwing.
Yes, thank you. Nightwing. I'm like, where do villains come from? Maybe that's more of the overarching stories. I'm like, you don't play. I think, I don't think you play as the villains.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, they could have did better with the
that
explanation.
Yeah,
but I get what they're saying because Red Hood is, he's a villain, like an anti-hero.
Yeah, but he's still a Robin. Jason Todd. That's all the Bat family,
right? So I think maybe they got their particular description confused with the CW show that was doomed to fail.
Yes, that's what that sounds like. That's exactly what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Scratch that description. and my side note, that did get canceled. Like that's not happening.
Right.
So that is not the right Gotham Knights description that they have with this game. Somebody messed up.
Somebody messed that up. Either way, I'm on.
Either way, Bruce Wayne is dead.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne is dead. Jim Gordon's dead. So you have the Bat family, Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin, and they are, protecting Gotham City and, the whole story that goes along with that. It's interesting. Weirdly enough, I was probably excited about this when it was announced like 2 years ago. I have no desire to play this game for whatever reason.
Hey, and that's why I said I was on the fence after like seeing footage and stuff come out. Like, I mean, it looks enticing, but at the same time, I'm like, some of the choices they've made, I don't think that's going to be a great game. And then they kind of hoodwinked everybody a little bit. They just now are telling us that it's going to be 30 frames per second instead of what we were expecting for consoles of this magnitude in today's time period. So I don't know.
But personally, I could care less about that. My only issue is that gameplay just never looks satisfying to me.
Yeah, because something about it, I'm like, so the entire story is at nighttime in Gotham? Like there's no daytime. We don't go to any like other parts of the city. Right. It's just all Gotham at night. But I guess that's the thing. I don't know. I'm really waiting for DC to acknowledge the fact that Batman Beyond is like a really, really underrated Batman, and he needs his things. He needs video games. He needs television programming. You could do a movie, I guess, but I would prefer a HBO series. Either way, I'm not really super interested in Gotham Knights. If they put a demo out, I would probably give the demo a spin. But
it's a game you definitely need a demo. I agree.
Yeah, because they need something else to like really hook me in. I keep seeing things like, people have gotten to test the game out before it came out, and they're like, it's cool, but it's underwhelming. And I'm like, that's what the trailer looks like.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I haven't really checked out any reviews for Gotham Knights. So I just heard people be moaning about the 30 frames per second. I'm like, there are plenty of games that run great in 30 frames per second. So
That's what I said.
that wasn't a big deal for me. It's all about gameplay and everything. And just as you and I both were like, we saw the trailers, we saw gameplay. It just was underwhelming.
Yeah.
I'll probably play it eventually, but not anytime soon, personally speaking.
Yeah, same. We'll see what happens. I'm not pressed to play it though.
Right, exactly. Next up, we have Tales from the Borderlands, and this is PS4, 5, Xbox One, S, X, and PC. I'm surprised this isn't on the Switch, personally speaking. It seems like it's tailor-made for the Switch. So this is a sequel to the Telltale point and click Tales from the Borderlands that came out. And if you don't know, Telltale Games went out of business. So a lot of the IP and games went back to the parent companies, or like Skybound. They created their own company to publish that last Walking Dead series. So in this case, Tales from the Borderland reverted back to Gearbox, the original studio of its creation. So in this case, it's developed by Gearbox Studio Quebec, and of course published by 2K, and it is a spin-off and successor sequel to Tales from the Borderlands. So if you like that sort of point and click adventure game, making your decisions, choosing optional directions, then this is the game for you, especially set in that Borderlands universe. Are you a fan of the Borderlands series, Brian?
I wouldn't say I'm like a fan, but I've played, I believe, Borderlands 2 or 3. I have one of the Borderlands games, and it is a fun game. So yes and no. Like,
okay.
I haven't completed it yet, but I've gotten far enough in the story to where I'm like, I understand why people like the game. So
Right.
yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
I have family members that have played through the games. I have some of the games which have been given via Xbox Live Gold over the years. Never had any desire to play them, personally speaking.
Yeah. Something about the gameplay is cool, and I like that the different characters have their own like skill trees and sets of things you can do. It really seems like Borderlands was the antithesis for games like Outriders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I'm not necessarily in a rush to complete it. I pick it up every now and then when I'm bored, and I'm like, I haven't played this game in a while. Let's check in and see if I still know what I'm doing. Other than that, it's cool.
Right. Exactly. I feel, yeah, it looks cool, just never really appealed to me. Totally understand that.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have Persona 5 Royale. And this is debuting for the PS5, Xbox One, S, X, Switch, and PC. And of course, it's already been a big hit on the PlayStation 4, and this is also dropping on Game Pass. And if you don't know, it's a JRPG. In this case, forced to transfer to a high school in Tokyo, the protagonist has a strange dream. You truly are a prisoner of fate. In the near future, ruin awaits you. With the goal of rehabilitation looming overhead, he must save others from distorted desires by donning the mask of a phantom thief. That right there, so that sounds absolutely bonkers.
Well, if you haven't noticed, we're on number 5 when it comes to Persona. So yeah, the story of the Persona series is quite riveting. Like, some things you wouldn't expect, and it's quite engaging. I think I have Persona 5. I think I have it. I'm not mistaken. I think they gave it for like one of the free PlayStation Plus games for the month. And I checked it out, and I was like, oh, I see why people I see why people like this game. It's definitely, I feel like you're just playing a manga and having fun with it. So
one of the things that I've seen and heard about the Persona series, especially with the accolades that 5 has received, it's very different. We've looked at a lot of JRPGs that come out over the past couple months, and when you really get down to it, they all look the same. Battle systems are similar. They're like washer and repeat of similar RPGs that have come out. And the one thing I've always heard about the Persona series, and then preceding Shinigami Tensei, because Persona is a spinoff off of that, if I remember correctly, the battle system's unique, but also really, like you say, just like you're playing through a manga. And that is just, and it does it well. Instead of just looking like it's a manga, like some RPGs do, it actually is like you're playing through a manga. So that is something that has always caught my interest when it came to the series, and the fact that now it is really available on everything and on Game Pass. I can't say I'm going to get into it because there are just too many things that I need to get into, and still getting into. But it's definitely something that at least is going to be there for a while, considering Persona 4 and Persona 3 are both coming to Game Pass, and by extension Switch as well, if I remember correctly, over the next few months. This is a game that's going to be there for a while, so I'll probably have time to actually check it out. And also, with this is the PS5 edition, so be interesting to see what sort of upgrades they have, especially considering PS4 is backwards compatible with PS5. So I would assume there's some sort of enhancements or extras that come with this PS5 edition that isn't there with the PS4 edition.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like whatever's about to happen with this Royal, either way, like Persona 5 or Persona period is kind of solidified. Nintendo has done a very, really good job at making this game like one of the staples within the JRPG realm, so it'll be around for a while. I'm surprised they haven't announced 6 yet, but the way they keep playing around with 5,
they milking this.
Yeah,
they're doing a GTA with this one, like they're doing GTA. What GTA 5 has been around 10 years. All right, so that's it for our new games. Let's get into our trailers. First up, we're going to have some rats with A Plague Tale Requiem.
Now, I'm interested to see what's going on with these rats.
He's right behind me, sir. He's going to catch us. Keep running!
Bloody brambles.
This is your tower. It's evil.
You're going too fast for me.
Please, Mother said to try to exhaust him.
Of course, from now on, we need to isolate him.
You want to lock him away?
Do you know what your brother is capable of?
Hugo is condemned.
The last threshold means the death of the carrier.
It's starting all over again.
Not starting. Spreading. Hugo.
Hugo? My brother needs your help, and the rats are already there!
Control your flame, Protector. Others are burned in it.
The island! It's where I must go! It's where I will be fixed, Amicia!
I will do what's good for you. I will. I'm not ready for this.
No one could be ready for this.
This is a constant reminder that I should kill you.
I know where your island is. Keep me alive until we get there.
By the way, this land is under the Count's law. Be nice.
Feel free to enjoy Lacuna. Brighter days are the best time for it.
Fuck it. I don't need you.
What is wrong with me? You'll end up wanting to kill me too.
What happened?
It's the rats.
This world hurts. And it keeps hurting. And you want to hurt it back. But it's a fight you cannot win, Amicia.
They must die!
They are dead!
Who do you think you are to defy me?
I'm Amicia Daroon!
Rat Whisperer.
I will say this much: they make this game look so epic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it like, okay, when is this coming on TV? Because I feel like this is like
this could be a series,
Thrones universe or something.
Netflix, hello.
Right? Yeah, but
it usually cancel after one season, so maybe not.
Oh my god. Yeah. But wow, the rats. Never seen many rats.
And I believe because of his sickness, he gets to control the rats too. Because I remember seeing some other gameplay a while ago where you actually see like the point of view from the rats as he's controlling them, because the disease gives him kind of control over them because of the sickness. It's interesting.
He has rat telekinesis.
Right. He's Ben. Or I guess Willard. Either way.
Yeah, this is interesting. Look, the trailer looks great. It's a lot of rats in there, and then it really looks like there's a story brewing that I am interested in understanding. I just don't know if I'm gonna play it, but
exactly.
that doesn't take away from how
The backlog is real.
that game looks. Like I'm looking like what? A sea of rats. Wow. But okay. That is the Plague Tale Requiem. If I'm saying that right.
Right.
Sea of rats.
Requiem, yes. All right. So we move from a plague and rats to the underworld and knights with Gotham Knights.
Where they also have rats.
Yes,
wow,
they do.
Look at this.
Bruce was Gotham. He was a friend, a mentor, a protector.
You've always had my back when I needed you. I know you'll keep Gotham safe.
With the ongoing spree of homicides and kidnappings across the city, police are now urging citizens to remain indoors.
Let's knock some heads.
They're always watching.
Yeah, man, there's just something about this game.
Outer Realms has sentenced you to die.
Nothing can stop what's coming.
Let's play.
Tonight is mine.
He always said people needed something to believe in.
Let's finish what Bruce started.
I think I know what it is for me about this game.
What is it?
I'm not saying I'm a humongous fan of the Arkham series because I've only played a little bit, so I can't say like I'm a humongous fan. But I think that so defined what a Batman game was, with the darkness and the grittiness and the sort of, I'm gonna say ultra realism because it's a video game. But I think there was something about it. To see this game, it's so jarring visually compared to the Arkham series, in my opinion. Even with the gameplay and somewhat the presentation, that there is something off. And I think for the past, and I don't even remember when the first Arkham game came out, but it's been like 15 years now. It was a 360 era, PlayStation 3 era. So I mean, it's been a while. As gamers, we're very conditioned to what a Batman game is supposed to look like now, since we actually got a series that was good.
Right.
And then we get this, and one is no Batman. So something feels off right then. Yes, I know it's all about the story. I get it. But when you see it, it's just, for me, it's just off. And I think that's what it is. As I'm looking at the trailer, I'm thinking, I want to see an Arkham game like in my subconscious. And I know this is it. So like their costumes are so bright and colorful. Even those, and I'm assuming those like in-game cutscenes that they're showing of them talking, like they don't seem as fluid as they possibly should be or could be, especially considering this is dedicated next-gen, current-gen hardware, since they cut out delayed the PS4 and Xbox One editions of it. So they should have it just seems off for what they're doing. I'm not saying it's not a bad game. It just seems off. But then in comparison, again, not the same studios, but then in comparison, you have the Suicide Squad game and everything we've seen about that. While it may not be a game I want to play, I'm excited to see what that game looks like.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And because even then, I'm looking at the trailer, I was like, is Robin, does he have on a rain jacket? Like what is,
right?
And why is it like so puffy and red like that? But that maybe I'm just nitpicking at the visuals of it. But I agree with you. I very much think that they try to make this game in the vein of the Arkham series, and for whatever reason, it's not living up to that, which I also feel like, okay, well, you're not playing it either, so maybe you should just give it a chance and see. But then I'm like, the material that's been coming out that's supposed to entice me to play, I haven't been doing that. So either I'm wrong and they doing something different that's going to wow me later, or I'm like, my intuition is on and this is not what we need or what we were wanted from a type of game like this, because the premise of it could be really, really dope.
Right.
Like you have the Robins and Batgirl, and there's some co-op things happening, which that was probably my favorite part about the actual game, is that you can, team up with your friends. And I believe there was something else that was really, really cool. Like if something happened with your friend, it kind of affected you in your gaming experience. Like they had some really, really cool things in there. I feel like the packaging might just be off. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree with you. On paper, this sounds like a really cool game, especially with sort of RPG progression and the skill trees and this and that. Right. And the story is interesting. I can't say I've like read up on Batman extensively in the past 20 years, but I know that Court of Owls is a pretty big deal, especially when they brought that out. Even just remember when they brought it out on the Gotham TV show, but even in the comics, that was like the biggest sort of reinvention or introduction to the Batman universe, in decades, really, that made an impact on Batman's backstory and everything. So I know that's very important. And on paper, this game sounds great. There's just something off about what we're seeing to me. And you kind of echo that same point. Something's off. Mm-hmm. And that's really all like I said, but it's just something, like I said, it may, sit down and play it, all that may be washed away. I don't know. But for right now, with someone from the outside looking in, it just seems off to me.
Yeah. Like I said, if there's a demo in the PlayStation
we
store,
need a demo.
Yeah, I need to play that. That's gonna be the deciding factor right there, because I really enjoy like Batman games. Arkham had a really good series. Like even I popped in midway on that and I was still like, oh, this is dope. I want to go back and play the other one. And like I said, the concept it sounds really, really good. I need a teaser. I need an appetizer before I decide if I'm gonna buy a main meal. So bring out the fucking garlic bread.
I agree. Yeah, bring out some oil. We good.
Yeah, because I don't know if I'm sold on the menu quite yet, but
right.
To each his own. I don't think it's going to be a terrible game. I
don't think so either.
Yeah, there's some hurdles that people are going to have to get over before they actually like, okay, this is not as bad as we predicted it to be. So we'll see. Got you.
All right, so last up is the game we both are scratching our heads with, or scratching our heads about, and that is Them's Fighting Herds.
Them's Fighting Herds. And by them's,
mess with the cow, you get the horns.
The cows.
Y'all in for a
I don't want to hurt you, but you leave me no choice.
How about a nice game of rock, paper, scissors?
Okay. Like a
Come,
flash game.
show me your power.
Fire kick.
Are you prepared for magnificence?
Wind's blowing in my
It's certainly different. That's certainly different.
Yeah. And
I feel like, and I don't know about you, and maybe Kuyap knows what I'm talking about as well. I feel like they were watching a whole lot of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. That art style was just reminding me. It was like, did they try to get the license and Hasbro said no? So like, all right, we're just going to do our own game.
I feel like that's what happened.
Yo, and real talk, here I am chiming in because my daughter was all about My Little Pony. Can't lie, I was about My Little Pony too. So I'm gonna go tomorrow and buy this joint because that shit looked like fire.
It does look fun.
It's fire, man.
It really does.
I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, so we
thanks,
got a
Checkpoint
bunch of
Squad.
heifers running around, beating up on each other, and then they're different kinds. This dragon one looks cool. This little Bambi looking one that does the ice moves. I'm like, okay, so there's some intrigue. Definitely on my side. I'm surprised as well because
I'm pleasantly surprised at that one. That was not what I was expecting.
But it looks good. It looked good. Yeah. That's interesting.
Look, that's the game of the 3 trailers we looked at. It's like, man, that looks good. Like everybody's excited for that one.
Knock off My Little Pony while all of these little heifer things is beating ponies. And the fact that it's a fighting game. And all of these creatures are on all 4 legs. Like that's right. I'm interested. I have to give it a spin. I think the Nintendo store may have a demo. They're pretty good about demoing their games. So
yeah,
I'm definitely try to check that out because that looks
yeah, but it's on everything though.
Oh, is it? Okay,
yes.
That's even better.
Yeah, literally everything.
I need a PlayStation controller for that kind of fighting game.
Yeah, so all right, well, that's that for our games this week. Brian, what's coming up with you this week?
I'm currently in the midst of recording the Talk+Play blerdcast, which those of you who are frequent watchers, you may know this is my podcast where I talk games, music, whatever drama your celebrities got going on, and television. So I'm making my return once again, dropping another episode after it's been some time. Either way, that's what I've been focused on the most outside of creating for Instagram. I'm trying to anyway. Either way, that's pretty much it. Another episode on the way.
Awesome. Be looking forward to that. New episode of Satori Geek Podcast WebsterStyle be dropping probably on Saturday at the time this recording. Just some highlights. I said last week I was going to check out Scorn, so I checked that out.
Oh, did you?
And I will say it's a lot of atmosphere and not enough action for me.
Okay.
It's a beautiful game, sets a great atmosphere, but it's more exploration than like run and gun. And I was expecting more run and gun than exploration.
Okay.
So looks great though. Like I said, just maybe not. It wasn't what I expected, so I'll put it that way. Okay. Also talking about what else? Hellraiser. Also talking about there's a trailer for a horror movie coming out in January called Megan. If you've seen it, it looks crazy.
I think we have seen it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, somebody watched Small Wonder from the 80s and like they should have literally named her Vicky and just called the movie Small Wonder. And then all of us from the 80s would definitely know what it was. Okay. Because that's what it seems like. So I'll be talking about that and a whole lot of other stuff in my part 5 of my fall essentials. So it's a whole lot of stuff going on. Of course, obviously got some of us talking about fragrances as well. But of course, you're not on the Talk+Play blerdcast. You're not on the Satori Geek podcast. You're, of course, rocking with Nerds Rule the World. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the NRW, on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. And of course, you're currently on YouTube. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Because it's going to be great for your health and the heifers that follow. All right.